another adventure, picking up another truck. We got the trailer hooked up. Going to pick up a Ford this time. So when we went to go pick this thing up, it had 4 flat tires, destroyed, can't be aired up. Luckily I had some spare wheels laying around with less bad tires on them. So we're getting those swapped out so we can roll this thing off. We couldn't get this thing off the trailer because the, oh my God, you're catching my breath. The right rear was locked up and it wasn't rolling. The brakes were locked up. So this is how we got the drum off. We beat it mercilessly until it cracked. There you go. See, it's off. Look at that. It spins now. Before we get into what we're going to do to this truck and show you what kind of shape it's in, we're going to talk about the history of these trucks a little bit. This is one of my favorite body style Ford trucks. This is the 8th or 9th one I have owned this body style. I had 2 in high school that I drove. This is the first thing I blew up. And you know, it's been a passion of mine with these trucks since I've started getting into cars when I was a teenager. So 61 to 66, they generally look the same. There were some differences. In the early part of the generation, they had the option of a unibody truck where the bed and the cab were one piece, no separation in between. They had a different back window. Overall though, everything else was the same. You had the same looking dash. There were different options, whether you had custom cab or a standard cab, and your fenders and your headlights and your hood, everything pretty much looked the same. The grills did change every year, which Ford is known to do. And in 1965, you had the introduction of the twin I-beam suspension. They got away from the straight axle in the front. A twin I-beam, for those of you who don't know, is basically a 2-piece straight axle. So instead of having one solid axle, you have 2 long pieces that come out and kind of work like scissors when you move. The downside to this is when you cut the coil springs and just try to lower it, your axle pieces come up like this, your I-beams, and you get super crazy negative camber if you go extreme. They do make drop kits for it, or you could swap it out for a subframe like a Crown Vic IFS, which is very popular with these trucks. Even whole body swaps onto a Crown Vic frame as well. Also in 1965, you had the introduction of the 352 V8. This is an FE block similar to your 360 and 390. And actually, if you look at a 360 or a 390 engine block, there'll be a 352 stamped upside down on the side of the engine block. They're the same block. Different bores, different strokes, all that kind of stuff. Intakes that weigh 8,000 pounds. This one is equipped with the 6-cylinder. Now, Ford ran a couple different 6 cylinders, but this is when they started offering the 300 and the 240 in the trucks. This has the 240 inline 6, which is unique in the fact that it doesn't have a timing chain. When you look at most 6-cylinder engines, most of them have a timing chain just like every other engine. This one is a gear-to-gear setup with long wear gears or something like that. They had some kind of catchy name for it. Either way, real cool, easy, simple engine to work on. Yeah, they only made 150 horsepower, but Ford claimed 20 to 30 miles to the gallon in some advertisements on these engines because they were so fuel efficient with their little tiny carburetors. Now you put this in the hands of a teenager and they are not going to get that kind of fuel mileage. They are going to drive it until it blows. I did that, believe me. But anyway, let's take a look at one of my favorite body style Ford trucks. And here we are in all its glory. We're going to start at the back and work our way up front. Now you've got a tailgate latch right here. You would think it opens like this. It does not. It opens sideways. How about that? Pretty cool, right? The side of these trucks, a dead giveaway, is this body line around the wheel well and down the side of the body. You'll see these on this body style truck. These were before they were square and boxy. It's still got some curve, some love to it. Nice looking truck. It does have diamond plate in the bed. This is common practice. They put it over a rotted floor. I looked under the truck. The floor is really not that rotted though, which is a little surprising. Inside the cab, nothing crazy. This is not a custom cab, so the doors are plain. There are no door pockets or fancy trim. You do have bucket seats out of something else. I'm really not sure what. And they've made some kind of homemade wooden base for it as well. Got your dash here, pretty simple. Key switch over to the side, and you can see Lights, wipers, cargo, that's for the light that's back there above the cab. You've also got a cigarette lighter, choke cable, and 2-speed heat fan. Obviously this doesn't have air conditioning in it, it's just got a heater box over there. Says 62,000 miles, not sure if it's rolled, who knows. Either way, those fancy speakers up there too. Headliner's really not that bad. This headliner is not a soft fabric, it's like a cardboard almost. There's the Ford F100. It would have had a red piece in here that said twin I-beam on most of them. Here's our engine. Again, the 240 straight six, single bowl master cylinder, no power brakes, no power steering. Your typical FL1A motorcraft filter that fits everything. And somebody has put a can on the side here to run gas out of at some point. Little 1-barrel carburetor, and we've got an alternator, no generator in 65. Again, the grill, this is a 65 grill. They change those every year. We got a custom vine wrapped antenna. This was popular in the woods. And also, if you ever see these pockets, there's these really cool mirrors. You pop this out and slide the mirror down in there and it bolts in through the door. It's a cool little bullet-shaped kind of round mirror. Overall, this truck's in pretty good shape. There's our cargo light. Usually down here, you'll find them rotted out really bad on the cabs. And look at there, cab corner's gone. Looks like somebody's already done some Bondo work in there. And right here is another notorious spot for them to rot out. That one's pretty solid though, not too bad at all. Your 5 on 5.5 bolt pattern, typical to big Fords, 9-inch rear axle. Pretty cool looking trucks. What we're gonna do to this truck, first things first, is give it a bath. It has got some awful crud on there. This is really bad. We're gonna give this thing a bath. We're going to assess the brakes and the steering, and then we're gonna take a look at the electrical. We're gonna see if we can get this engine to fire. We'll just kind of hot wire it and see if it runs, because if it doesn't run or it's knocking or broke, there's no point in spending time on it. We'll look at an alternate drivetrain. We've also got to go through the wonderful title process here in North Carolina, because no title. So we got to go through and bond it out and get that sorted out. Probably find a different seat, get the bed cleaned out really nice, and maybe a bug bomb. There's some stuff living in here I'm not really sure about. But anyway, we're going to do this a little bit at a time. This is a project for me. I'm probably going to sell it when I'm done. We've got a lot of other important projects going on at the shop right now, so I'm just going to throw this in here and there over the next couple of months, little pieces that we're going to do on it. If you guys have any questions about these trucks, or if you're building one and want to share anything about your truck, please feel free to do so. You guys can comment below, or you can email me at greasyboycustoms@gmail.com. Again, happy hot rodding. We'll see you next time.